Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our special Super Bowl 55 coverage right here on WNCT.com. I'm your host, Kelsey O'Donnell, from inside the digital studio. All weekend long, WNCT will provide the top news and headlines leading up to the big game. Now, this afternoon, we'll take a look at what types of preparations Tampa Bay is making for Raymond James Stadium. We'll take a look at what safety protocols are in play and how food delivery companies are preparing. Later on, we'll take a look at some advertisements, what to expect, and some of what not to expect, which may come as a surprise to you. First off, stadium preparations. The NFL says it takes at least 2 years to prepare for the big game, let alone during a pandemic. Reporter Kara Small takes an in-depth look at what goes on behind the scenes leading up to the big game.
There may be around half the fans and more precautions.
Lots of work that we certainly have to do, from decor installation, temporary booths that we are building out, lighting.
All these components will ensure the stadium is in prime shape to take on the fans and the teams on February 7th.
I think that there's going to be a lot of surprises that you'll see. Eric and his team were challenged with, and you've all been around Super Bowl, so you know what it looks like. Challenged with taking everything that's normally off this field and taking it and putting it somewhere else.
The field will include features like brand new grass and cameras placed around the stadium just for the fans. George Toma, a Kansas City native who's worked on every Super Bowl, says that while things look different, for him, it's all about the work. He says crews spend sometimes 14 hours a day out on the field. And while setup is just one part of the game, it's all about the players.
They asked me if the Chiefs got in the Super Bowl, could they win? And I told them with Mahomes and Kelsey, they can pull anything off.
And no matter what team you're rooting for, organizers with the Super Bowl says there's something they can all agree on. This is a game like nothing we've ever seen, and the show must go on.
We will continue to drive forward, and we're, though, feeling good of where we are.
Again, that was Kara Small reporting. Preparations and maintaining the site will continue up until kickoff. Speaking of preparations, local officials are making sure that COVID-19 safety protocols are in place and ready to be enforced. While celebrations are bound to happen, people want to make sure others are safe while doing so. What you're looking at right now is when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers punched their ticket to Super Bowl 55. It was a great moment for the city, celebrating its second trip to the big game, and fans took the time to seize the moment, honking horns, waving flags, and just soaking it all in. But notice up here, many fans are not wearing masks, something government officials in Florida want to make sure does not happen on Super Bowl Sunday. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor has been in the spotlight recently, pushing for her community to make sure they're doing their part in wearing masks. That way the event does not turn into a COVID super spreader.
Always boils down to personal responsibility. If individuals just wear a mask, then it doesn't matter the numbers we bring in, it's not going to translate to a super spreader.
Mayors in surrounding cities like St. Petersburg say they are enforcing tighter restrictions, especially at venues hosting Super Bowl-related events. Across the country, many people will be staying home rather than going out and eating at restaurants and bars because of the coronavirus, which in return means that food preparations and deliveries could potentially be at an all-time high this year. Our sister station in Missouri takes a look at how the Super Bowl impacts employees like those who deliver pizzas on the big day.
It is one of the busiest days of the year. It's probably about 50% up over a regular Sunday.
Local Domino's General Manager Jake Miner says he actually enjoys working Super Bowl Sunday, even though there's a lot of work that goes into it.
We don't get to sit and watch the game like everybody else, but it's important that we're there for our customers so that they can count on us on busy days like today.
He says they put a lot of prep work in before the day gets underway.
Lots of food prep, so we prep a lot of stuff up ahead of time. That way we can get it out as quickly as possible. We've got extra staff coming in. We have more workers, probably about 30% more staff today. Do I like working Super Bowl Sunday? It is a fun day. We have a lot of fun making a lot of pizzas.
But Jake isn't the only one who likes working Super Bowl Sunday. Domino's delivery driver Tessa Watts says she also enjoys working busy days like the Super Bowl because it means there isn't a lot of downtime.
I like keeping busy so it's not slow and boring, but at the same time, like if you're in the store, it can get stressful because there's a lot going on, a lot of people in the store moving around.
Do you like this job?
I do. Like later on in the day, it gets pretty busy.
But drivers also get bigger tips on big delivery days like the Super Bowl.
As compared to a normal day, they're making a lot more money. I would say that some of the drivers coming in, they're going to take double the deliveries that they normally take. Definitely one of the hardest jobs on Super Bowl Sunday, maybe other than the guys out there playing on the field.
Turning now to the big screen, the Super Bowl is one of the largest opportunities for advertisers. Rick Laney, president and CEO of Rick Laney Marketing out of Knoxville, takes a look at the probability of making a successful advertisement and past segments that have actually failed. In 2021, here's what to expect.
This year, you have Super Bowl advertising that actually dropped in price, which is not typical for the Super Bowl. It didn't drop much. It went from $5.6 million for 30 seconds to $5.5 million per 30 seconds. Super Bowl's always been the go big or go home venue for advertisers. And what it looks like is a lot of these guys decided that considering everything that the past 12 months has been, that they were going to go home rather than go big. It's a risky proposition for a company to drop that kind of money, and that doesn't include the production of the ads. They'll spend millions of dollars making the ad and then spend $5.5 million for 30 seconds to put it on the air. When you look at the hyper-politicized environment that we've had, you look at COVID, you look at social issues, Black Lives Matter, Me Too, all of those things add up to a very risky proposition for a major corporation. They can get it right, but there's also a good possibility that they get it wrong. And I've said before when talking about Super Bowl advertising, you have to keep in mind that there are 80 to 100 advertisers during the Super Bowl every year. And for maybe 7 or 8 of them, it was the best decision they ever made. It puts them on the map. It makes them high profile. They're visible in their marketplace. But for 70 or 80 of those advertisers, it's probably the biggest waste of money they've ever had. And so they have to weigh all of those factors. And what's happened this year is a lot of companies have weighed those factors and decided it's just not the year for them to invest in the Super Bowl. The thing that's a big question mark, and corporations hate uncertainty. And the thing that's uncertain this year is you look at the Super Bowl and you say, how do you do advertising with more than 300,000 Americans who have died from a pandemic? What does the game look like? What if they cancel it? What if there's an outbreak among the players and they can't play the game? There are just so many questions that it's surprising to me, actually, that you do have some first-time advertisers jumping in, because obviously this is a very risky year, and maybe they had a great idea. Their agencies came up with a fantastic angle or a fantastic message. And I'm sure that after the game, there will be some standout ads that were right, ads that, as they say, read the room and got the tone and the messaging correct. But I would also bet a large amount of money that you're going to have some ads that fail horribly. I think back to Pepsi. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 years ago, but Pepsi tried to address Black Lives Matter. And they used Kendall Jenner. And literally within 30, 45 seconds of that ad airing, Pepsi was being trashed coast to coast on social media for trivializing that issue. And so again, even companies that have great intentions can sometimes miss the mark. And again, it's a gamble. And I'm sure there will be winners and I'm sure there will be losers.
Again, that was Rick Laney, president and CEO of Rick Laney Marketing out of Knoxville. A few notable companies will not air advertisements during Super Bowl 55 this year, including Coke and Pepsi. But the biggest shock, for the first time in 37 years, Budweiser will not air their commercials, according to Anheuser-Busch. Instead, the beer company says it will join a public awareness campaign for the COVID-19 vaccine. Pepsi, Coke, and Hyundai are the other notable companies that will not advertise during this year's game as well. While those names may not be on the screen this year, there will be additional surprises throughout the game. Until then, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gear up to kick off on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. right here on CBS. This will do it for our WNCT Now Super Bowl 55 coverage. Be on the lookout for additional segments coming out later on this weekend. From inside the digital studio, I'm Kelsey O'Donnell. Thanks for watching.